You're watching the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show. It's week 7 of the high school season, flying by, but you know the drill now. For the next half hour, we will preview all the big games and tonight's CEFCU Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week. Joining us now live from our Game of the Week, it's Paul Wapple and Adam Anderson. They will bring you everything from the game, the sights, the sounds from that game tonight. So guys, this contest between two teams who could be in very different places had a few of their close losses, gone 1-2 possessions the other way. What are you guys both focusing on when looking at this one?
Yeah, thanks, Sammy. Well said. You know, it could be a lot different. Pittsfield has played we're blown out by New Berlin and Maroa Forsyth. No harm there. I mean, a lot of people have. But they lost 4 close games. They have to win tonight. Pleasant Plains 2-4 has to win tonight, Adam, to have any chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's weird you could say this is a playoff game here in week 7, but essentially it is. Pleasant Plains at 5-4 really needs to win. They took the forfeit against Riverton, so at 5-4 they would get in points-wise. Pittsfield, though, played Jacksonville, had Jacksonville on the ropes, so they need to get this win at 4-5. They could get in the game.
So Pleasant Plains has a really good air show, and the ground game is really, really good for Pittsfield. So we'll see what
tonight brings. It's going to be a battle of who can do what better. It's going to come down to who can hold on to the ball. I think it's cliche to say, but I think whoever can create more turnovers is going to win this game.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, guys. Playoff points on the mind, but first our home team, Pleasant Plains. They come into this game having had an off week after their 1-score loss to Porta. With Olympia and Williamsville around the corner, the Cardinals, they need to get back to the winning ways in order to keep their name in the postseason mix.
Plains host tonight, and through 6 weeks they don't love where they're at, but they're far from out of it just yet.
Never liked being 2-4. We've definitely been in some close games, but just haven't been able to pull away. But overall, just trying to stay positive, looking on the next week, next opponent.
They have struggled in the first half of games, knowing they need a complete effort to win those close contests.
Coming out off the bus, out of the shed, home games, whatever, just coming out first quarter ready to go. It kind of takes us a little bit to get going.
One reason to believe this season is Cooper Schallenberg, their quarterback, who stepped up in ways that they didn't quite expect.
That's just kind of one of those things. We had a 4-year quarterback before, and now a first-year guy who didn't get a whole lot of younger level reps, and he's really taken off now.
And to beat Pittsfield, they know they have to stop the run while taking care of the usual on offense.
Same thing. I mean, they're going to run the ball, and we've got to do a better job of stopping it for sure.
Mainly defense. We got to stop the run, but also we're gonna throw the ball a lot. We're gonna do the same run and everything we've been doing. Just mainly just stopping the run on defense. That's the big focus this week.
And to win tonight, it's all about one mentality, and that's being gritty.
Gritty football. I mean, get in there, do your job, do whatever you got to do. For me, it's definitely more of a mentality. I'm going to bring the hurt. I'm going to bring it to them. I'm not going to let them hit me. I'd rather go straight after them.
That's your home team tonight, guys. The Cardinals looking to get back in the win column and back on the right side of those close contests. Now, guys, do you think Pleasant Plains has what it takes to protect home field tonight? I think their passing attack could pose some problems for Pittsfield.
Yeah, Sammy, Pleasant Plains has a really good passing attack. Grisham and Bowser are in the top 6 in the Sangamo Conference in receiving yards. Schellenberger, a good quarterback for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Cooper Schallenberger might be one of the best athletes just in the Sangamo Conference, whether it's football, basketball, baseball. He kind of is the straw that stirs the drink out here for the Cardinals. They need to have a big game out of him tonight if they're going to win this football game.
And part of it will be the Cardinals' defense, too. They'll have to come up big. They've got some good players there. Colton Boone, 47 tackles for the Cardinals.
Yeah, the defense, again, if they can create some turnovers, they can make it a long night for Pittsfield. But I think we're going to have a pretty even matchup here tonight.
You got an absolutely beautiful night. Both teams, like we said, have to win. So, we'll see what happens here. But it's a playoff atmosphere. Like Adam said, they have to win to stay alive here in week 7. Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, guys. With that, now we switch gears to our visitors. Olympia, Williamsville, New Berlin, Maroa Forsyth, an absolutely brutal 4-game stretch that Pittsfield, they're coming off. The team now sits at just 1-5, but that includes 4 single-digit contests as Pittsfield now has to kick it into high gear as we hit the home stretch of the season.
Pittsfield enters this contest after a brutal stretch of Sangamo Conference battles, but they feel ready for what's ahead.
We've had to play some really great teams. We were able to get that win against Athens. That was exciting. Really liked that one. But, these upcoming weeks, we're ready for them.
The Saukees love to run the ball, and to beat Pleasant Plains, they planned on pounding the run game and finishing out their drives.
Running the ball, we're really good at running the ball. So whenever we're able to do that really well, I feel like we have a chance against any team.
Teams that we've had success against scoring-wise, it's because we finished our drives. So
one area of struggle this season has been the energy. Not bringing the energy, but keeping that energy going the entire game.
We have really good energy. I love the energy on this team, but sometimes after a little bit it kind of starts to dip down a little bit, so I'd say we need to keep the energy up these last 3 weeks.
They feel like Friday night brings an even matchup, one they can't overlook.
Physicality and our physicality will probably be the same. I mean, we can't underestimate them. They've been working hard too. So,
and this game and the next two are can't-lose vital contests if they want to keep their hat in the postseason mix.
I think this is a really important game, since if we are 4-5, we could, have enough playoff points to get in.
Based off, the fact we played Jacksonville week 1, so that's going to kind of put us above any other 4-5 team, we feel like. So.
Now, Pittsfield, they've faced an absolutely brutal schedule this season. You just heard it mentioned there. Jacksonville included in a tough non-conference game. They're in a tricky spot now, though, but not totally out of the postseason hunt. But tonight, it's essential, guys. Do you think they can get it done on the road?
Yeah, Pittsfield has a really good ground game. They've rushed for more than 160 yards the last 3 games. And last week, they got blown out by Maroa Forsyth 50-8, but they still had 217 yards on the ground.
For a few years, I've always heard, man, maybe this is the year Pittsfield turns the corner. Maybe this is the year Pittsfield turns the corner. A lot of these seniors have started varsity football for 2 and even 3 years now. They've really been close, put it together. Now is their chance to really get over the hump. And can they get over the hump? They've come up so close so many times here. I'm sure their coaching staff doesn't like to hear that, but they do have a ground game that can really keep a lot of people in check.
Linebacker Owen Shaw for Pittsfield has 28 tackles, so, the Saukees have to come up big. This should be a really good game.
Yeah, it should be a really good game. If they can control the clock with their ground game, that could be a long night for Pleasant Plains.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Passing game versus run game. Thanks, Paul and Adam. That's our game of the week. We will come back to you two to break down a few more games in the area in just a bit. But now it's time for our Green Certified West Go to the Game. Here we highlight 2 players before our game of the week that are sure to have a big impact. And for tonight, it's a host in Pleasant Plains. It's going to be their senior quarterback, Cooper Schallenberg, a multi-sport athlete for the Cardinals. And that athleticism, coach says, is starting to show through in football as Cooper gets more fluid and comfortable reading the game. The team wasn't fully sure what to expect at quarterback entering the season, but Schallenberg, he has taken the role and played some really good football for the Cardinals. While on the other side, it's a workhorse running back in Jesse Davidsmeyer. He's averaging 4.5 yards per rush this season, only below 4 yards a carry one time this season. He's a threat against everyone. Last week against Maroa Forsyth, 32 carries. Lane Foster, 20 carries as well. This team will run the ball, and Davidsmeyer has been an efficient workhorse for this team, and I don't expect that to change tonight. Cooper Schallenberg and Jesse Davidsmeyer, your Week 7 Green Certified West Goats of the Game. Now, coming up after the break, we check in on a few other games, including 2 big-time Sangamo Conference battles, as well as SHG and Springfield High squaring off. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals pregame show. We have properly previewed our game of the week between Pittsfield and Pleasant Plains, but Week 7 brings loads of other contests that we just have to get to, so let's bring back Paul and Adam. Guys, now it's crunch time for a lot of these teams, very decisive contests for conference titles and postseason spots, so let's start with a big one over at New Berlin. Now, this first game is going to be electric, guys. Williamsville and New Berlin, 2 of the top 3 teams so far in the Sangamo. New Berlin, a little bit Michigan-esque. You know how they'll attack, but you just don't know how to stop them. It's just so hard with how they've been playing. While Williamsville is the usual Bullets, contending for the conference, fully rebounded from their Byron loss. Guys, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, New Berlin, Williamsville. I mean, who'd have thought the Pretzels be 6-0? Williamsville, what, 5-1?
5-1.
Lost to a tough Byron team, as you said, Sammy. This will be a really good game. New Berlin's not going to surprise you. They're going to pound it on the ground. They know what they do. They do it well.
Yeah, and I think Williamsville, after last week, has really figured out what their identity was. And, they've won 5 games, and everybody's going to be happy. But I think when you saw scores, I think they were trying to figure out exactly who they are. I think Coach Coons and his staff has done that. It's the battle of the silver bucket down in New Berlin, and this is a big test for the Pretzels. They're 6-0, but their next 3 weeks are Williamsville, Olympia, Maroa. So the tests start now. Are they as good as everybody believes they could be?
That will be a really good game tonight, Sammy.
Now we transition to Olympia, who's coming off back-to-back losses to Williamsville and New Berlin. Now they take on Maroa Forsyth. Talk about a 3-game stretch. They'd love to get back on track, but the Trojans at Maroa Forsyth have a 0 in that loss column to protect. Who do you guys have prevailing in this battle between the Spartans and the Trojans?
Well, Adam and I were talking about Maroa Forsyth. I mean, they are, and with one of the head coach of Pleasant Plains. Maroa Forsyth is loaded. They are incredible. And Adam, they haven't punted, right?
They haven't punted through 6 full games. Have not punted. That's an unbelievable stat. I don't care what level you're playing at. Just to not punt in 6 high school football games is crazy. Coach Joseph has got that team humming. It's coming at the perfect time. He wants them to be at their strongest now until Thanksgiving weekend. I think Maroa is just going to be too tough. Olympia did play tough against New Berlin, just gave it up at the end. Hopefully they're back being 100% healthy. That might help, but I think Maroa is going to be too tough tonight.
Yeah, I think Maroa will win that one too. Sammy, back to you.
I feel like we're going to have to interview the punter there, feel what it's like to punt for Maroa Forsyth. But guys, the great games, they are plentiful tonight. Another one over at Memorial Stadium as Springfield High, they host Sacred Heart Griffin. The Senators riding high after their late win against Jacksonville. This one could be a battle between the best Springfield's football schools of the season. Who do you guys have coming out on top on this one?
Yeah, Springfield High SAC, that should be a heck of a game. Springfield High is this close to being undefeated. We did the Quincy Notre Dame game a few weeks ago. Last week, the Senators pulled out the game with a great pass from Scheffler to Lance Thurman. Adam, what do you think about SHG Springfield High? SHG needs to win tonight.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize until you had pointed out, they still have yet to play Chatham Glenwood and Rochester High School, which are 2 tough matchups. Springfield High coming off come from behind win. We saw them; they were almost put it together. Maybe what they did last week against Jacksonville has taught them what to do to win close games. If that game is close tonight, I'm going to have to give it to Brody Scheffler. He has just proved that he is in an upper echelon of quarterbacks in the Central State 8.
Yeah, Brody Scheffler has definitely come of age. He's played very well. We saw him a few weeks ago. He's matured, and that should be a heck of a game. It really should be, Sammy.
Thanks, Paul and Adam. Break time for you to rest the vocal cords. We've got about 15 minutes until kickoff in that one. But from west to east and from the pair of Paul and Adam to Carson Gordy we go. It's week 7 of the high school football season. Now, Carson, take us through the big games on your end tonight.
Hey, Sammy, we got some good matchups over on your side, but I'm not going to lie, I think mine might rival you just a little bit, but all kidding aside, we got some interesting games that will continue to shape the playoff bracket. Manassas Seymour has to make the long road trip to take on conference rival Effingham. The Bulldogs are feeling confident after last week. They overcame an early deficit and dominated Mount Zion Braves by the score of 38-14. The Bulldogs have gone through some adversity this year for sure. In the 3rd game of the year, star tight end Trey Peters suffered a torn ACL, and he's going to miss the rest of the season. But junior quarterback Lucas Dyer has continued to push this offense along, and they may simply just be too hard to handle for many conference teams. The Bulldogs senior class has never lost a conference game, and they're looking to keep that feat alive tonight. But they'll have their hands full. Effingham is 4-2 this year, and the running game has been incredible. If there was a Heisman Trophy for Central Illinois football, I may have to vote for Weldon Dustin IV. He's averaging 230 yards a game and is a magnet to the end zone with 24 total touchdowns. With both teams having high-powered offenses, I would take the over in points tonight, and the winner will likely claim the conference title crown later this season. And Monticello is playing host to Paxton Buxton tonight. The Sages, though, are playing well in 2024. They're sitting with a 5-1 record and will be in the playoffs this season. Outside of a Week 1 loss to the undefeated St. Joseph Ogden Spartans, they've been dominating the competition so far. The offense has been playing well since the start of the season, but this game will obviously be a big challenge. Paxton Buckley is currently 6-0. The offense is good, but the defense is even better. So far, they're only giving up an average of 10 points per game. And during this Friday night matchup, something will have to give. If Paxton Buckley can pull off the road victory, they could be in line for a conference title crown when they play the Spartans during the regular season finale. Could we have two undefeated teams for that matchup? Tonight will be a big factor in deciding that. And we also have some other high-profile games across Central Illinois. Peoria is going on the road to take on the Champaign Central Maroons. Central suffered a tough loss last week at home to Danville, and they really, really need this win tonight if they want to secure a playoff bid this year. And Rantoul and Tolono Unity will be meeting tonight. Rantoul has struggled so far with just a 1-5 record, and Unity looking to stay within striking distance of winning its conference title. And Pontiac is looking to upset the Spartans of St. Joe Ogden on the road, but the Spartans so far have been incredible this year. As we said earlier, the Spartans are undefeated, and their defense has been suffocating other teams. If the Spartans take care of business, they could be setting themselves up for a pretty high seed in the playoffs this year. And my team and I will be out tonight, and we will be back later with the highlights. I'm Carson Gordy. I'll see you tonight.
Thanks, Carson, and don't forget, we'll have all the highlights from tonight's games coming up on our CEFCU Friday Night Rivals recap show. The recap show kicks off at 10:15 over on News Channel 20, and I'll be breaking down the action from the gridiron. Again, that's at 10:15 tonight. And after the break, we'll check in with the rest of our Friday Night Rivals team, including a weather update from our own Darren Leeds.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show. We're going to be heading back out to Pleasant Plains to check in with the rest of our Friday Night Rivals crew. And that's going to start with meteorologist Darren Leeds for a look at our football forecast. Is fall football weather finally here, Darren? It's October already. I'm ready for the real football weather. Give me good news.
Hey, I'm ready for the real football weather too. Unfortunately, this isn't quite it. Temperatures were above average today. We peaked around the mid to low 80s in central Illinois. And taking a look at our current temperature, we're still around 74 degrees at this point in time. And yeah, fall football weather, we should probably be in the 50s for that. But it does look like dry weather will continue, very light winds, a pleasant night at all those games. And yes, sending it back to you in the studio, Sammy.
And in tonight's game, you'll see someone who also featured in their team preview, and that's Braxton Forshee. The senior offensive lineman for Pittsfield is a fun character and hard to miss on the field. When he takes the field, you'll see him and his mullet, a look he says he's been working on for about 5 years now. So we just had to ask Forshee where the look came from and how long he plans to keep it going.
In 7th grade, one of the kids on my youth team, they got a mullet, so I was like, I'll get it, why not? And then it's just been from there. I haven't cut it off yet. Don't know why. I've been thinking about it recently, though, but, so far it's going to stay strong through football.
From incredible hair to an incredible sideline reporter, we switch to the side of high school football that brings something to the entire community, including what is outside the white line. So we welcome in our sideline reporter, Spencer Davis, who's live in Pleasant Plains with more. Spencer, take it away.
Yeah, I'm standing by with a Pleasant Plains alum, Kenny Yoakum. Kenny, talk to me about what the community means to Pleasant Plains.
Honestly, the community of Pleasant Plains is great. It's one of those small but mighty situations. It's not a big amount of people here, but the things that they do in the charity events that they put on, like the Blackout Nights, been going on for a while, so it's always great to see.
Well, I appreciate it. Kenny, Sammy, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Spencer. Happy to get Kenny on Friday Night Rivals. But when we come back, we'll wrap up our Green Hyundai preview show before sending things out to Paul Adaman. Well, back to you, Spencer, for our Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show.
The national anthem just wrapping up over at Pleasant Plains. It's going to be an incredible game here for Friday Night Rivals Week 7, a great contest between Pittsfield and Pleasant Plains, highlighting one of our final 3 weeks of Friday Night Rivals. Going to be a good one there. We'll send it out very shortly, but first we want to preview some upcoming games here on Friday Night Rivals. After this week, just 2 weeks left, so let's check in here. Coming up, we have a big one in the Sangamo Conference. It's going to be Maroa Forsyth taking on Williamsville. This contest is going to be a good one. This one could have big implications on the conference, so make sure to tune in for that one. That'll be a can't miss type of contest, and that'll be our second to last one of the season. So make sure to get that one. The final one, another fun contest, maybe one you didn't think would be quite as exciting preseason, but Springfield being as good as they are, Glenwood playing some great football, that's going to be a fun contest as well. Some can't miss football coming up for us on Friday Night Rivals. Those two games will be fun, and in just a moment we're going to send it over. I'll give you a brief prediction because we have a very fun slate of games. SHG and Springfield High is a game I'm going to be going to myself tonight, and that game, that's going to be a battle. I have a feeling we might lean a little bit towards the Cyclones, but Springfield High, with the energy they're on, the way they upset Jacksonville at the end of that game, that one could be a great contest. So make sure to tune into that one. Make sure to tune into our post-game show. That's at 10:50, and tonight we'll break down all the action, including what Carson did. So I'll hand things over to Paul, Adam, and Spencer for your Week 7 Friday Night Rivals Game of the Weekend.